Welcome back, Thursday, open lines, and boy, we've had some great guests this morning. Thanks to Chief Henderson for coming by, and the cheerleaders. Boy, we've had a lot of fun this morning, and lots more still to come. I want to welcome into our studio right now Ms. soon-to-be Dr. Rachel Powell. How are you?
Good morning, Chuck. How are you?
Hey, we're doing great, and we appreciate you coming by. And of course, she is with the Brookhaven School District, stationed at Mamie Martin, and her husband's also in the school district on the football. What does Coach Powell teach?
He teaches American history.
American history, and coaches football and golf and strength.
Strength and conditioning.
Strength and conditioning. So he's a busy young fellow too. And of course, you all are parents. Tell us about your children.
We have one daughter,
One
Kennedy.
daughter. Yeah. Okay.
She's
Kennedy.
14 months old.
14 months old. That's great. Of course, May is the month of the year that attention is drawn to Rachel's profession. She is a speech and language and hearing specialist with the Brookhaven School District, and this is the month that they try to draw all the attention they can to the problems that quite a few children have in those areas. First of all, a little bit about your background. We were talking about your education.
Yes, I'm originally from Louisiana. I attended Southern Miss for my undergrad and graduate degree. I'm currently attending LSU and working on my doctorate. I'm all but dissertation, so I should hopefully graduate in the fall. That's why you say I'm almost Dr. Powell.
And so we just want to set the background that you are very qualified in your area. And tell us about what you do for the Brookhaven School District.
Well, for Brookhaven, I'm a speech-language pathologist, and I serve children at Mamie Martin. We have preschool children there, ages 3 and 4. And the kindergarten, first and second grade students. So I have anywhere from 3 to 7 or 8-year-old children who have speech or language problems, or sometimes a hearing impairment. And children who have their speech language disability as their primary disability, which means they have difficulty articulating or saying sounds, or difficulty understanding, following directions, that's language, or difficulty answering questions or expressing themselves age appropriately. We also have served children who have other disabilities, such as autistic children, children who have mental handicapping conditions, children with traumatic brain injury, or developmental disabilities.
Oh boy, that's a plate full there.
Yes, it is.
And let's talk about numbers. How many students do we have in the school district, and how many do you all work with?
Well, the largest population in special education have language speech disabilities. So we serve the most children as speech language therapists. My caseload typically carries around 40 as a full-time speech pathologist. At Mamie Martin, we've had about 120 students on average every year receiving speech language services.
Is that an unusual?
No, that's pretty average, actually. We actually have a great caseload system. Some speech therapists I know throughout the state can have up to 50, 60, 70 children. There are reports of parts of the country that have over 100, and that's really not practical. So we really, with 40, that's a good number. It's average. It could even be a little lower. We'd like that because of the types of disabilities that we serve. Some children need more support than others, but that's about average for our school size, and we like to serve them.
We talked in the green room for a couple of minutes about the fact that you and your siblings had a speech problem when you were young, and that kind of probably led you to go where you've gone. How do parents look to their children to see signs? When will they see the first signs that their child may have this kind of problem?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because early detection and intervention is crucial in treating children with speech language problems. In the school systems, we can start serving them at age 3. However, they can get services before age 3 through early steps. And if you suspect your child has a problem, you can always call the school systems if your child is over 3 years old. If they're under 3, talk to your pediatrician for a referral. What you're looking for is that even at 3 years old, you should be able to understand most of what your child is saying. If they're difficult to understand, then they may have a problem. If your child has difficulty formulating a complete sentence, saying things that make sense, if they make up words that are not real words, that might be an indication of a problem. If they cannot tell a story, that's an indication of a problem. If you seem to talk to your child a lot, but they don't seem to be listening, and you don't think it's because they're just being defiant, they really just can't hear or seem to understand what you're asking them to do. Say, for instance, if you say, go to your room and bring me your toy, and they go to their room and they never come back out, they might not understand all the parts of the directions. That might be a problem. So it's very important that parents are in tune to what is developmentally appropriate. There are tons of parent resources online. You can go to our national website, www.asha.org, and that could give you lots of information on what's developmentally appropriate, or you can contact a speech therapist in Brookhaven School District or anywhere, and we can give you information on what's appropriate and what to do if there seems to be a problem.
Of course, there have been such great advancements in your profession over the past decade, dozen years. So anyway, one of my daughters had reading disabilities, and they went undiagnosed for a long time. She struggled. She went to Brookhaven School system, and she's in the early grades. She really struggled, and was actually approaching the junior high level before she was even diagnosed as having these problems. And there's been such great progress in that area for things like reading comprehension problems or retention problems or that sort of thing. What are the early signs of that for a parent?
Some of the early signs would be difficulty with phonological awareness, and what that is the ability to hear sounds and manipulate them. So rhyming, if a child has difficulty recognizing rhyming words, creating rhyming words. If a child has difficulty isolating sounds and words, such as what's the first sound in bat is the sound. If the child can't do that, they might have a problem with phonological awareness. If a child can't tell you all the sounds in that, then that might be a problem with phonological awareness, and that's strongly linked to reading disability. So that's an early indicator as early as 4 or 5 years old that a child might have future reading problems.
Of course, you work with these children through the school year. What about the summer months? Is there any kind of program that they continue during the summer?
Some children qualify for extended school year services, but those who do not, we always highly encourage them to go to the library for the summer reading program. Always read to the children, because reading, not just reading the story, but talking about the story, asking questions about what's going on in the story, have the child tell the story back to you. That always is helpful in improving a child's language ability and comprehension. There's private practices around the Brookhaven area that you can go to if you suspect your child has a disability and would benefit from the services of that. And just any kind of programs like Vacation Bible School, anything going on throughout the summer that has children involved in activities is good for them as far as their language and speech development.
Of course, the awareness month is about to wind down. I'm sorry we were so late in the month getting you here, but just basically, what is your message to you have a young child, and you were talking to Quinn out there about his baby that was born prematurely. Just what is your message to new parents out there?
My message is to be strongly aware of what your child is doing, and not to be obsessive about the developmental milestones, but be aware of the developmental milestones. If your child starts missing milestones, if your child isn't talking, say for instance, my child is 1 year old, she has a vocabulary of about 20 or so words. Average is about 10 to 15. If your child is not talking at all at 1, don't panic, but by 2, a child should have 50 words. Above age 2, you should start combining words like bye, dada, hey mama, want juice. And if your child's not doing that, be keenly aware of that. Talk to your pediatrician, talk to a speech language pathologist, get them in as early as possible so that the child can get the early treatment services if there's a problem, and all of those problems may be corrected by the time they're in school. If they're not, they can continue to have the services throughout the school age. But be keenly aware of what's going on developmentally and make sure your child's hitting this milestone.